And if you're out there, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Pick whichever one applies to you. But welcome to my live stream of my satisfaction world, or satisfactory world. Anyway, what I would like to do is take you on a little tour from where we were, show you what changes we've made since last time, and then we'll continue where I left off, and then I have some thoughts I want to share with you about this game and where I'm headed with this and everything. So, last time I showed you uh, the the change in architecture or architectural style that I was contemplating, and I was starting with the big um, power production plant, the oil or fuel power generation, and that's still absolutely true. But right now, we're actually down here by my space elevator, back in the central area. Now, what I originally told you, what I just described, is up here in this oil field, and yes, that absolutely is kind of like ground zero for this next iteration of design. But the next iteration of design is actually turning into a next iteration of strategy, right? And and originally, what I was going to do is I was going to start distributing my production, which is all clustered here, into just a couple factories that produce many things, into a string of factories that produce only one thing, but they're scattered over a distance, right? Now, all that still applies, but what I wanted to show you here is that I actually started working on the home area. It started with the space elevator, right? I actually went ahead and kind of adapted the design or this island of the space elevator to our new design and look. So you can see it's got the same foundations and base as our fuel power plant does. And in fact, you can see I then went extended to other things, including this building, which is the one I was just in. Now, what is that building? It's like a little factory, but what it is actually, if you remember, on those islands, that island there and that island there, I had set up some random constructors and assemblers and manufacturers that we were using to produce the stuff that we need to complete phases and milestones. All I did was I took them out of there and I moved them into here, because you still have the need to occasionally make a side production run of something special, right? And all I did was I have two constructors, I have two assemblers, and I have two manufacturers. Yes, manufacturers. And I'm just using them. But you can see they're housed in a building that is under our new design paradigm, except I need to add lights. It gets pretty dark in here at night. It's quite nice during the day as the sun's coming. You can get an idea, right? It's going to be kind of bright in here. So I'll show you that. The other thing I did was I pretty much took apart my headquarters building and I've rearranged it. Now I'm going to build a building that is like that, same design, same design elements, but they will house this. This is my new administrative base, my new hub. So I moved things around. The hub's there, the MAM's there, my equipment shed's here. This is the sink. I've got some storage set up over here for things like, like ammunition and nobelisks and all that type of jazz, food, first aid. Something that is different is I'm setting up a wall board. Basically, this is part of the change in strategy. So if you remember, we talked a bit about my central supply depot, right? And I told you that, this is probably one of the coolest storage solutions I have ever come up with in any game. They totally allow me to do this. And I could drop stuff off in here and then it's available, but then I was able to go ahead and hook these up to this dimensional storage, so things come out of my central storage and they're available in the ether, so to speak, in the cloud. And that was a whole lot of awesome. But these guys didn't stop there. If you take it to the next logical step, and I discussed this a little bit, instead of having a central storage like this and putting your dimensional depots on the end of each of these, why not just go to where I make these things and throw my dimensional depot on the end of that container? And then I don't have to keep shuttling stuff here to the central depot, as much as I love it, but it just get it straight from the source. So I've actually done that already. So concrete and plastic, which currently I use a lot of in my constructions, they're actually wired directly to dimensional depots at the source where I'm making this stuff. So I can build and build and build, and when it tells me you don't have any plastic or concrete left, and I need, this is obviously concrete, but it's shiny because it's coated with plastic, so I use a lot, right? So when it tells me you can't build anymore, you're out, I'm like, okay, I'll go take a break for 5 minutes, and guess what? I got a bunch more, and I can do that forever. So, and really, I think that's how they designed it to be. But that changes, well, it means I'm going to get rid of that building. And not yet, though. It still serves a function because I only have a couple items set up that way. So that's one thing, right? Another thing is if we go to a power pole, and I think these are still connected to the network. I'll double check. They might not be. No, they're not, right? So, but this illustrates exactly what I wanted to show you. When we started, I built this because I was like, picking up a lot of weeds and seeds, right? Picking up the bushes and the wood, and I was making fuel, and that's how we powered everything. And that's what this stuff is. These are all my bioburners and stuff. But we outgrew that because we got the technology to make coal power. And there's my coal power plants over there. And yeah, they are connected. And now when we look, I've got 5 coal power plants over there. And so they are producing 375 megawatts constantly. And then the difference, the 375 to 615, that's what all these biomass burners provide. It's our capacity. They're not on unless we need them. And then I don't know what is using the power here. It could be the power plants themselves and the water pumps. That's what I'm guessing. But all of that, I say all of that, and they're disconnected, which is good because you see, without those guys, we are producing power from my fuel-based generators, right? And I need a power pole. I don't know why they don't have some type of like device you can hook up that just shows you power. But here, this is my main network, and even without the coal power plants behind me, I'm producing basically 6.3 gigawatts. And I mean, even having everything turned on, I will only use half of that, and I'm not using everything turned on. So, and that doesn't even begin to cover what I could have. So, with that said, the biomass burners, the coal power plants, those are really just taking up space, right? They're not really doing anything. If I was to trip the circuit breaker and my and everything had no power, these would barely supply enough power to get me going again. So it's just not worth it. So these will soon go bye-bye as well. And of course, I already told you before that the very small short train loop I have and production facilities I have down here currently will all be replaced. right? So they'll go bye-bye, but only after I replace them. So then where am I going to replace them? What am I going to replace them with? And I just realized, look at this. There's an inside and an outside, like, to this line, right? It can be on different sides of this. So if I do this, I didn't know that. There we go. Now this rail matches, but the rail was turned around the other way. It's just interesting. So looking at this map, this is kind of where I'm at, right? So like about this area, I got a decent amount of copper, and I have Caterium. So right here, I have a factory that's producing copper wire, cables, copper sheeting, and Caterium wire. This factory right here has all this iron, and so I'm producing iron plates and iron rods, screws, reinforced plates, rotors, and I think that's it. That's quite enough, actually. And then over here, I'm producing steel pipe, steel beam, and case beam, and actually now it's producing concrete. And then recently, I set up a new standalone concrete factory over here. It's functional. It's actually quite functional, but it's not even remotely close to finished as far as look and feel. But you see, now I'm kind of thinking about like scaling up, and this is basically the topic of conversation I wanted to cover with you, which is, if you've played this game, you already know everything I'm going to tell you. And if you haven't played this game, it's not a spoiler. It's not a spoiler, but it is I don't call it a dire warning, but it is to let you know what you're in for, which is this. If you've paid any attention, just even to my live streams in this game, and much less watching my long stream content where this world started, you already see how, as you progress through this game, they keep unleashing new stuff on you. And when they do, two things happen. One, you realize that whatever you've been doing up to this point is not going to cut it. Right? You think, okay, I have a good thing going. Let's move to the next step. You get to the next step, you find out that, yeah, what you were doing, that's not going to be good enough. So you come up with a new strategy, and that seems good enough. And then later they're going to unleash more on you, and you realize, yeah, that's not good enough either. And apparently that cycle doesn't go away. It's going to follow you all the way to the end. The second thing is, it's scale, right? And the scale is exponential, really. So when you start and you're making tens of items, and then you're making hundreds of items, and you're making thousands of items, and you're thinking, yeah, I'm doing pretty good. No, you're not. You're not doing good at all, because you're going to get to a point where that production run of 10,000 seems pretty good, but you're going to need tens, plural, of thousand. So we're coming up on my power plant, which has seen some work. It's mostly enclosed now. And there's some other aspects to that too, because there's the stuff you make that lets you make other stuff. And so that stuff you obviously automate, and you actually build dedicated factories for, right? Because you're going to need a whole lot of that stuff. So there's no point in making a temporary run. You want that run to be on and on all the time. But there's the stuff, like you can see in the upper right corner of my screen, the phases that get you through these phases. They have you make these components that you don't use for anything else. You're not going to build buildings with them or anything like that. They're strictly for sending to the space station for whatever we're going to do to help Earth. And as far as I know, that never will get explained. It's certainly not explained so far. And you think, okay, I'm done making that stuff. No, you're not. Because Later, they're going to introduce a new thing, and you're going to have to make a whole bunch more of the old stuff. Okay, so maybe you do or do not want to make dedicated factories for that stuff. But then when you come to that realization, it changes your strategy quite a bit. And that's ultimately what I'm telling you. Like, when you look at the phases, I actually should have showed you the phases when I was all the way back there. I'm at phase 3. I think I finished milestone 6 or something like that. Yeah, tier 6. And there's 9 tiers. So if you look at it, you go, oh, well, you're 2/3 of the way through. No, I'm not. Because I think tiers 7, 8, and 9 are going to be bigger and require more effort than tiers 1 through 6 did. I mean, at best, I think I'm like halfway. And it's exacerbated. I'm not really halfway because, like I said, I realize now that I need to redo all my manufacturing stuff. So I'm less than halfway. By the way, what you're looking at here, this is a alien power augmenter. And if you get the summer sloops, they let you make this thing. And when it's done, all by itself, it's producing 575 megawatts. Sweet. But, all by itself, it's producing 500 megawatts. There you go. And it's supplementing that with an extra 575. Basically, it's a 10% boost right here. So this one facility I built is giving me a little over a gigawatt all by itself. And since this boost is a percentage, as I build new power plants and I increase my power production, the 10% I don't think changes, but that number does because I'll have more. It's a 10% of a bigger pie. That's a bunch of power. You can see this is what I'm using. This is what I'm using if everything's turned on. This is what I'm capable of producing. I don't even know where this line is. It's gone. Or maybe that's what this line is. My capacity and my production are the same. Yeah. Okay. So there you go. Now, another thing. I mean, I'm sure there are tons and tons and tons of videos about how you should build and where you should build and when you should build and yeah. Let me just give you some observations from my perspective and keep this in mind. I've played a bit of Factorio, but I'm not a Factorio or automation guru. But one of my strengths, one of my primary interests, is transportation. I've played a lot of transportation games. A lot. And I played them for thousands of hours. And that's one of the things that appeals to me in this game is the transportation element. And when you look, people will tell you all these strategies. They build stuff and then they build connections between them. I think you kind of need to do both at the same time, right? You need, so for example, this is probably the site of the next factory, but I don't know what that factory is. In fact, I'll need to go here, do some scans, see what resources are available, and then make up my mind, and I'll build a factory there. And since this is where I'm at now, this is my power plant, and this platform I'm on is running north-south. This is actually where the train station will be, and there'll be a twin platform just to the side here where the main line will be, right? And it's going to run north-south from here. Well, looking here, this is going to run south and probably curve toward whatever this factory is. So there's my first link, right? Then I'll probably have a factory here, and a factory here, and then we'll just keep linking them. Now, there's a bunch of map I have not even explored. Oh, and while we're at it, let me lament a little bit about the map, right? They have a map. It's certainly a very useful map, but let me give you some of my complaints. For example, I've been marking resources, and that allows me to strategically plan. Now, if you look at the map, I'm guessing I've opened up maybe a third of the map. I mean, I don't know exactly. Maybe it's a quarter of the map. I don't know. But I've been marking resources, and according to this down here, I've used up a bit over half, maybe 2/3 of my available map markers and stamps. Well, shoot, how am I supposed to do any type of strategic planning if I'm going to run out of markers and I can't mark where resources are? I mean, I can get stuff to appear on the map, but I have to scan for it. And I need to see all the different resources at a time, because I'm looking here and I said, well, there's a lot of iron. So clearly, whatever I build here is going to use iron. But actually, I have Caterium, I have quite a bit of copper, and quite a bit of limestone. This gives me all sorts of options. But if I'm just doing scans, I couldn't see all this on the screen at once. So that's a problem. Another problem I have, as you notice, you don't see where any of my buildings are. Well, you can see where the train station is, but it doesn't show you like where the limits of the train station. Or we can guess that there is a train track that runs through here because that's where my train's going, right? And presumably it's still on the track. I like to think so, at least. And power network. Well, where in the world are my power lines? And if I have more than one power network, like I apparently do now, oh, where is it, right? I like to see where's one network and where's the other network is. You see what I'm saying, right? As this map has definite usefulness, but it should be, I would say it could be so much more useful. Yes, it could be. But see, what I just described, I consider that to be basic functionality, right? So this map, I have a love-hate relationship with this map. Anyhow, and I'm still coming to grips. I only discovered this today, so now I'm coming to grips with how I got to do my planning. Like when I tap something, like now that I've tapped these 4 oil, actually I tapped these 3. I'm going to tap this one. Maybe I should take them off, right? Or once I do all my scanning here and I figure out what I'm going to build here, I build it and then take these off. They're no longer in play, right? It's or under consideration. I mean, I got to think my way through this. I know there are websites that have interactive maps, but the problem with that is it's like, ta-da, here's the whole map, even the stuff you haven't seen yet, and here's where everything is, and I don't want to do that. So there you go. So that's pretty much all the stuff I wanted to tell you. I mean, that's almost a quarter of the live stream. But I think that's important, right? To know that if you're one of those people who you want to come in. Oh, by the way, this is the oil patch there I showed you that I haven't tapped yet. That one, it's right there. So if you're one of those people that, you don't like tearing things down and rebuilding them over and over again, well, you're going to have a hard time with this game because that is the name of the game. You think it's satisfactory? No, it's actually should be called tearing stuff down over and over again. So, and rebuilding it better than new. Now, what I'm standing on is the template I came up with for my transportation system. Looks pretty slick, actually. But I built these using the blueprints, right? So if we go up here, it's the only blueprint I have, but that does make this so much faster and easier. And like I said, I'll have a twin set to the side there that'll contain the main line. This is where the station will be for the power plant. And normally I wouldn't need a station for a power plant, especially since we're producing all of our fuel right here. But as a byproduct of that fuel production, we're producing plastic and rubber. So yeah, this is probably something that we will want to connect to the rail system and cart elsewhere. And that's it. So really what I need to do, I need to make my way down here and explore this area. I need to find a safe spot here. Scan. I've done a lot of scans, but another thing I'll tell you. All scans are not created equal. Right? So, look. I can scan for a bunch of different resources. And something like iron's kind of an exception. Because if I scan for iron, it's actually going to show me iron that's quite a ways out. Like I should be able to have these pop up, right? So iron will light up here. Oh, or here, 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 and I'm pretty sure these will pop up too. That's quite a bit of distance. Or maybe not. Still, that is a bit of distance. That's kind of the exception. The way it generally works is your weird, rare stuff, like Sam's. Like if I scan for Sam's, oops, here we go. I'm going to get Sam's that are very distant, much further than the iron was. So it really lets you look for those things that are far away. There's the second one. Where's that third one? I heard it. Oh, there it is. Fourth one. I'm pretty sure I'll get these. Maybe not. But then if I scan for copper, now you see I got a SAM all the way out there. I don't know if this is gonna pop up if I scan for copper. It's much shorter range. Copper. So watch. I might get these. I definitely get this. Oh, it's bauxite. So I got those. I'd be surprised if I get this. Oh, I got it. How about this one? So I got these. I'm not getting this one. Or this one. So you can see it's less distance. So, or seems to be less distance. With that being said, you got to go local. If you're going to go scanning, and scanning is a very viable way to find resources because this game has a lot of verticality and cliffs and stuff is buried and hidden, and you know, so scans will tell you it's there, but that's only half the battle, right? It's an Easter egg hunt. It's kind of like your parents telling you, hot, hot, cold, cold, hot, cold. And by the way, that reminds me, for some of you it is already Sunday, and for some of you it will soon be Sunday. It'll be Sunday for me in an hour. So for those of you that celebrate Easter and celebrate in the Western tradition, like Catholicism and stuff, Happy Easter. For those of you who celebrate in the Eastern tradition of Easter, that would be next week. So this was Good Friday, and Russian and Serbian and Greek Easter will be next week. We celebrate Eastern Easter. Actually, we pretty much celebrate everybody's holidays. I think it's a good way to do things, but anyhow, where are we? I need to go straight south. And now that I'm in dangerous area, I should probably kind of focus on not being dead here. That's kind of cheesy. Firing at him from behind a barrier where you can't get me. But hey, I like cheese. Okay, so probably we're not there yet, I don't think. Let me see. Nope. I think I don't know what I think. I don't know what I think. While we're here, there's a Mercer sphere in the neighborhood. Not surprising. How about sloops? Nope, no summer sloop. Okay. So we'll press on. Anyway. So that's all my thinking I've been doing about this. Now, this game's full of surprises. And let me just tell you, like, these guys who show you how to do it, they played the game. I think if you've already done it, it's too late. But I really think the way to approach this is you just read a couple really basic primers, some tips, and then play through it on your own, right? And then, after you've finished, you have a much better idea what you're facing. And then watch all the guys like Bits and stuff that will show you, like, down to the nth degree what to do and how to do it. Right? Well, I mean, you do what you need to do to have fun. That's the big thing. But I think you're cheating yourself out of a lot of fun if you just go straight to the experts from the get-go. Yep, sometimes you can go up a cliff using your parachutes. I actually use that a lot when I'm building my home base, because those foundations I use that are kind of, you know, angled, they are fantastic for using your parachute and climbing straight up into the sky. I use them a lot. I could have swore I got one here. Yeah, I did. Okay. So we're in the neighborhood. We're in the neighborhood. I think it's over here. Uh-huh. Okay, so what we want to do, if you're going to scan, you're going to be busy looking at the map and stuff. So what you want to do is pillar up, at least while you're busy. Huh, really? Really? Okay. Surprising, but... Okay. So this is what we'll do, right? Now, I've already identified a lot of stuff. I'm guessing that this won't identify anything new. And that I just want to confirm that, right? So we'll say scan for iron. And these will light up. Yep. And these should light up. Got that one already. Oh, I don't have those. This is why we scan. So let me see. That's impure and impure. say iron. And of course, this just makes my whole pending restrictions on map markers happen that much sooner. But yeah, if like I said, I got to do this, then determine what I'm going to build here, and then I can start removing markers. So, you know, the other thing is I think, like, once you find a resource, it should mark it for you and keep it there automatically. That's just me, just saying, right? Me having to, like, keep scanning over and over to see the marker is bogus. This is interesting. Okay, so that was iron, right? So then let's look for geysers. Now, geysers provide us geothermal energy. I don't really expect to see any. And in the past, oh, I heard one. Where is it? Oh, they're up here. And I've marked them already. Oh, wow. See, look at that. I'm scanning for geysers this far out, right? That's crazy far. But it looks like the ones that are within range we already found. Let's look for Sam. Obviously, these two and this one. That's what I should spot. I think this one's closer. Yeah, it is. And then this one. And I don't know if we'll get this one or any more. Maybe this one? No. Okay. Oil. I really shouldn't have done that. It's going to light these up. It's going to light these four up. This is part of a fractured system or a fracking system. And that's all it'll show. I got oil over here, but I don't think I think it's too far away. It does show you that, like, well, it's wrong though, because I've tapped these three. This one is just outside of range, I guess. So I've tapped these three, and this one I haven't tapped yet. Okay, so that was oil. Coal. Now this is an important one. I got a bunch of coal here. I mean, this is quite a mismatch, right? I got a bunch of coal here. Oh, I got a bunch of coal here. Okay, now this one I didn't know about. Pure, huh? This is why we scan. Coal. Pure. Okay. Okay. Caterium. I keep trying to call it caterite. So this one should light up for sure. Maybe this one too. And this one. This is the only one I have tapped so far. Okay. So we're already covered there. Sulfur. Got one right here. And right here. There we go. I don't know if any of the others I've already found are in range. So we'd be looking for new ones. I heard it. All the way down here. Already. That's the one I've tapped. Okay. Let's see. Quartz. May the quartz be with you. Got some here and some here. And I've tapped these. Oh, I've tapped. Okay, we got those. See if these light up. They do. Yeah, I've tapped one of these. And I tapped the other one too, but it just has portable miners on it, which doesn't count as far as tapping, I guess. Okay. Limestone. We should light up these two, and that's maybe these ones. Oh, I didn't know there was one here. So there we go. But you see, it's not lighting these up. Limestone and copper have very small radiuses. I said it was normal, right? Is that what it was? Oh. And limestone. So now, I mean, right now, I got a lot of limestone in this neighborhood. That's a lot of limestone, and I just have a lot of limestone around here in general. I mean, there's limestone everywhere. I mean, here there's a pretty high concentration of it. This is another starting area that's generally helpful or gentle enough to newbies or semi-newbies, but this is newbie central, right? This is where I started, so let's see what else we got. We're almost done copper. These should light up. This should light up. And I don't know if it will extend past that. Like these. Will I get these? Bueller? No. Okay, but we've scanned for all the stuff that we can scan for. I mean, at this point, if there's something within range, I'm not aware of it, right? I haven't discovered what that thing is yet, except for bauxite. I know about bauxite now, but I can't scan for it. I did find some. Yay! And for those of you in the home audience, bauxite can be smelted into aluminum or aluminium, depending on your preferred flavor of English. Okay, so if you're on the chat, by all means, feel free to chime in here. But I think this will be the next stop. So we need to build a manufacturing facility here. The question is, what should I build? Now, at the moment, the only thing I'm using sulfur for is for gunpowder, and I can make more than enough gunpowder manually. So at the moment, I don't really see a need to mass produce gunpowder in a factory. That might change, but what I'm seeing here, I got copper, I've got a good chunk of iron, and I have limestone. Now, I'm already producing plenty of concrete elsewhere. So really, this concentration really comes down to copper and iron. And so, like, what should I build? Now let's see. This is iron pure. Now, again, if you've played the game a lot or whatever, you might think 3 pure iron nodes, that's no big deal. But from my perspective, that is an incredible amount of iron, right? That's concentrated iron goodness. And so we could really build the snot out of that and produce a mess of something that requires a lot of iron. Now, if we go into our codex and we say iron ingot, what can we make with ingots? We can make iron plates, we can make iron rods, and now I have the recipe for alternate iron wires, so I can make wire like I would, and I can make cast screws. But and there's a bunch of recipes I apparently haven't locked yet, but when it comes down to it, it's just iron plates and rods. And we know that iron plates, right, they will help we can get reinforced iron plates, I get stitched iron plates. That's an idea. Get rid of the screws. Like I could make. Huh. So I have a recipe where I can make wire with just iron, and then I have this wire. I mean, I have copper here too already. So if I wanted to, I could. I wouldn't have to make screws. Screws are the bane of my existence. Don't need to mass-produce jetpacks, but we make reinforced iron plates, and we do need those from time to time, and we need quite a few of them. In fact, up here, the materials are for completing the phase. I need to make smart plates, and it turns out I will continue to need to make smart plates as I go further in the game. Smart plates require reinforced plates, iron plates, and they require rotors, a lot of them. And plus they're using other stuff too. So I think that this area would be a fantastic place for a dedicated reinforced iron plates or a rotor factory, right? So I don't know which. And we're not by any summer sloop or anything. Now let's take a look at the land here. We've got I'm on a cliff overlooking the ocean, and there's the power plant, and the rail line will be on this side of it, so it'll come down south. Now we can kind of S-curve it down here and come by. So the thing is it'll come by, it'll be down at this level. I'm wondering if I shouldn't build this factory out over the water, kind of like I mostly did over there, and then so then the rail station would be further out in the water. And we just have some feeder lines from the iron out to the factory. In fact, I'm really starting to think that's what we should do. And again, I don't know if there's anybody out there, but if there is, if you have an opinion or thoughts, by all means, now's the time to share them. Oh, that quartz and that oil are still visible. I don't want them to be visible. Off, good. Off. Then what quartz am I looking at? Cancel. Which of these oils am I looking at? This one. Turn that one off. And there we go. Off. 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 Okay. I don't have any of these are still on, right? That one was off. Off. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're all off. Yeah, I don't see anything else anymore. Okay. So if we look at the map and zoom way in, to my right and a little behind me are my iron. So actually, let's turn these on. I'll say medium. I don't know how near is, so I have to apply it. Medium, apply. Medium, apply. Now we should see them, so here we go. So this one, it's right here. Pure. Okay. And then this one, it's right here. Looks like it's getting dark. And then where's the next one? So I have 1, 2. Oh, that's it. So I've passed over one. Oh, there's one here, and there's one over here. Okay, these are all clustered pretty well. So we can put a miner on each of them, and then bring all three outputs together and we can combine them into a single high-speed conveyor. Or, I mean, that is a lot. I might just have like 2 or even 3 parallel conveyors going out and then feeding the factory. But I think this is the strategy, right? I think we're gonna do exactly what I said. Don't know about kicking it off in the dark though, but that's what we're gonna do. So let me look at my, I need to drop stuff off. So let's get back to the base, and then by then it'll be time for our break, our 5-minute bio break, and then we will pick up where we left off. So there are bad guys on this route, and they spotted me. I spotted him. Oh. I got more up here. There's 2 in this cave. I always see them when I go by in the hypertube. And then I think that's pretty much it. If we stick to the hypertube. I can't get into the hypertube from here because there's no entrance. I can make one, I guess, but I gotta tear it all apart and to add an entrance, and I don't want to do that at the moment. Now, there might be some more bad guys in here. Guess not. Okay, we're good. It's hypertube's still useful even if you're not in the hypertube. Okay, so then we've got our big old campus. Does look a bit like a campus. Very, very nice. I do like this part of the map. I'm glad I started here. I'm glad they kind of make this newbie area like pretty in a traditional Earth-like sense, right? So that I find it calming and relaxing. Oh yeah, I forgot I killed off this hypertube. So, whee! That'll keep things going a little bit. Whoosh. Yep. I have a friend who he swears by the jetpack, but the jetpack uses fuel, and it really needs jet fuel, and you can run out of fuel. I mean, even if you don't run out of fuel, you can run out of thrust. And I'm so much happier, I think, with this parachute and the Blade Runners. So anyhow, this dashboard I'm building here, what it's showing you is the item. If there's a green check mark in this first column, that basically means I've automated production of that stuff. Yay! The green check mark in the second column means at the end of that production line, I've set up a dimensional depot. So from now on, unless I tear up or stop production, I will get an infinite supply of that material in my dimensional storage. And I just started setting this up this afternoon. I'll probably fill this side, and if I need to, I can continue on the other side. So, and this is to help me, because there actually is this. I can do all sorts of notes over here, but what I have in mind here is going to blow through that available space. It's not going to be very useful, so we'll do that. I'll grab a couple of these tickets and we'll put them here, right? No? Have I not been... Or maybe I used them all up, so now... Yeah, we'll put them in here. Okay, let's take care of this alien remains. Let's see, where are we? Yeah, so we're working on this. So we'll get to that after the break. See if we're done. Spitter protein. Now, the awesome sink is the thing I showed you like 2 live streams ago. Basically, it's something that you can channel extra material into and get benefits. You get these tickets, like the tickets I just got. Then you can go to the company store and use those tickets to buy stuff. Now, you could buy stuff, such as, like, you know, some of these materials or a coffee mug. Or you can buy, I don't want to call them plans or blueprints, because we actually have a thing called blueprints. But essentially, you can buy the capability to create different stuff, right? I don't know if I showed this to you before, but for example, the ability to make signs, which I'm using a lot of, I bought that through this system, right? In fact, I've got all of those. The ability to customize certain finishes or colors or whatever, I did through here. And there's still more to do. I got all the foundations. I think I got all the walls. Almost have all the architecture. And then, you know, you get a coffee cup or ammunition, stuff like that. But that's what we're doing. And there are places where I have overflow. So if I produce so much of something that the production line just stopped and I'm not using it, we can channel that excess back into the sink. And you can see there's actually 2 ways to earn. This is the alien DNA I just threw in there. It has its own progress bar. And then this is everything else. And and the other thing too is, the more you use this, the harder it gets to use, right? So the numbers of required material will go up to get a single ticket. But these tickets are useful, and at some point, I'm almost all caught up. I can buy all the all the stuff I want access to. You know, I should put these tickets in here. But I'm pretty sure that by the time I get to that, it will have opened up more. And so I will have new stuff to spend my tickets on. That's just how it works. You know, that's part of the consumer-based economy, right? Sell you stuff and then convince you need more stuff. And then when you get that stuff, convince you need more stuff, and so on until you're overflowing with stuff. So, don't go too far. That's not what I wanted. Can I reach the sign? Good. So we'll reach the sign. We'll say Control C. And then we'll go ahead and say we'll be back at and then we'll change it back when we get back. So it's basically 11:30, so go ahead and take a break. See you back in 5. And I'm back. Hopefully you can hear me okay. Let's put the sign back to the way it was. And let's go look at these things I need to do to complete the phase. So that middle one is some type of engine or motor thing, and what I was waiting on is producing motors. And to produce the motors, I needed to make stators or stators. And it looks like they're still making them, right? No, this is reinforced. Oh, this is smart plating. That's looking ahead. I need to put some of this stuff away. So, there we go. It's making motors. Oh, it's almost done. It's almost done. I didn't realize they did that. So now they need a lot of motors because that's what this thing's waiting for, right? This modular engine needs a bunch of motors and it needs a bunch of smart plating. So we can get this going. Oh, I don't have much storage space. Okay, let's go take care of the storage problem. Some of this stuff we can just throw into our, like, the SAM we can put in there, and we can take that and put it in there. How are we doing on crystals? I can use 5, not 196. Let's see. That we can put into the recycler. Computers we can put away. I'm going to be using all my motors in a minute. Cables we can put away. Modular frames we can put away. Fancy modular frames we can put away. Oh, actually rotors I can't. Okay. Let's sort this. That works a little better. So, what did I need? I needed inventory space. I got it now. Okay. So let's take as many of these as we can and throw them in here. Okay, that should chew on that for a while. This is smart plating, right? Yep. How many do we got? Oh, okay. Let's grab these. Put them right here. And that gets it going. We're off and running. And we need to make 500 of these. So everything's okay. Everything's okay. Now, what I was thinking, I need to build a walkway over all those lines. Oops. We are going to build a factory here. Actually, we'll build it out here, but we'll be tapping these three. And I said I was going to do with the reinforced plates. Actually, I think I'm going to go with rotors, because rotors take longer to make. And while we will still need a bunch of reinforced plates, they're mostly used in mass quantities when you're using Mark II conveyors, right? That's where they really get hammered. So we'll do that. So I'm gonna need to make some miners. Can I make Mark 3 miners? I don't know if I can. Let's see. Production, nope, just Mark 2s. But for Mark 2s, I'm going to need a lot more than I got. I'm going to need these portable miners. I think I saw some here. There's 5 there. Or I'm imagining stuff. Maybe I don't have them anywhere. Okay. So we go to the equipment shed and we'll make some. Need one more actually. That should get us going. We'll need to run power out there. Not a big problem. And because I do have a hypertube that runs out through there, but then once I'm in the hypertube, I got to go out one end or the other. I'm going to run along the hypertube to get back there, just like we did to get back. You know, I don't know if I can tell. Well, let's just see here. Can I tell my altitude? I can see my coordinates X and Y. What I was thinking is, since I'm going to build this out over the ocean, it would help if I built it out so that the height was compatible with the railway. I mean, if I'm just running a railway over the ocean, there's no reason it needs to go up or downhill, except laziness on my part. So okay, we'll just start with the railway maybe, or let's see how much of a hassle it's going to be. So, blueprints, you know, if you're not familiar with them, most people are though, the idea is there's a blueprint building that you can build, and basically it looks kind of like an open air holodeck, and the idea is that anything you build within it, you can then basically take like a snapshot. And that snapshot is something that you can instantly build. All you need is all the required materials used to make it in the first place, right? So if I have a particular structure, like it has like 3 constructors, conveyor belts configured in a given way, etc., etc., it would have a laundry list of the materials I used to build it in the first place. We take the snapshot, and then can I do this? Nope. And then whenever I want to build that exact same setup, as long as I have the materials, I can actually call up the blueprint and place it like it's a single building. And I'm about to do that right now, so I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. So, real quick, what we're going to do is we're going to extend our rail line. Actually, I need to set up the line next to, so this right here is these pylons and everything. This is where we're going to have our train station. You can see there's another one over there. What I did was I built that one, and then I added some filler, and then I built this one. But I used it by doing this. And see, I can build the whole shebang all at once, and it's going to require 288 plastic and 860 concrete. And then you got it, right? So now with that said, how do you place it? First of all, I need to make sure I don't get ganked while I'm here. There's the big one. Okay. Got one over here. And then the big one. Okay. So what I want this to do is that the main line will be parallel to the station, and I'll need to connect them. But to make them parallel, I gotta place them next to each other. Now I want them specifically spaced out. I don't want them directly next to each other. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna go to foundations. I'm gonna pick just a simple 1x1 foundation, and let's put them 2 apart. So give me 3. I'll show you what I did that in a second. Okay. Now, when I go to build with the blueprint, we can lock the hologram just like we do with other stuff. And now you can see it's not quite lined up with each other. Now it is there. And then we'll move it out. So there's 1 block, 2 blocks. Is that exactly? Yeah, it's 2 blocks. Now, the reason I did that is I put those, first of all, I can measure that these are now exactly 2 foundations away from each other. And they started on top. And so I can actually, when I, at that 3rd one is what I was targeting when I laid down the foundation. So it's going to base the foundation off of that point. I think this goes like maybe, no, actually, it doesn't go much deeper than this. That's pretty much the regular height, which kind of just works out, I guess. But like if there was a hill here, this height, you know, if I tried to place it on the hill, it would be higher than this one. But if I build this little jig, basically, and then try to build it using the jig, it's now at the same level, no matter what's going on at the ground level. And if, for example, this wasn't tall enough, so these were like hanging out in space, then I can just go down there and extend it myself manually. But this is one of the beauty, one of the major advantages of blueprints, right? So let's go ahead and choose that. And we're going to do it again over here. So I got this one. I'll pick it right here. 2, 3. Blueprint. And we'll hologram that puppy. And okay. There you go. Now, I hope you can see how I didn't need to use a blueprint. I could build these from scratch if I so chose. But if that was the case, I would be like 1/3 of the way on this one. And right now I already have 2 of them done, and they are exactly where I want them to be. This is going to get even more important later, because when I start doing curves and stuff, this will save me a whole lot of time. Okay, now let's zoop these. Now if you see, I actually use concrete foundations on the side because those are road beds, right? And it's not just trains. I'm actually going to set those up to be for vehicles as well. So that's why I thought I heard something hostile down here. So that's why there's so much space. If I want to do a train, like just 2 would be enough for a train, and 3 would give me room for like a hypertube and stuff. But since I want to add a road network as well, that's why I made the main line 5 across. And then this last bottom layer. And there you go. I just quickly and rapidly duplicated that in no time at all. Now the problem with this is, yeah, I did that quick and easy, but if you look, if I wanted to make another one, I don't even know if I have enough resources to make another one. If I go Q, I don't want a camera. There we go. I go to make another blueprint. You can see I don't have enough plastic yet. It's like I told you, it's refilling from dimensional storage. In fact, it's refilling from this building. So let's go in here. So I was surprised I actually got to build all that, because I'm tapped out as far as plastic goes. And they have the classic full-blown elevator experience, including cheesy music. So you can see, we run over here. This is where I'm producing plastic, and it's got the dimensional storage. So even as we look here, I'm out, but you see that number's growing. Now I can grab a bunch myself manually. Now this is rubber, and I will probably build a dimensional storage for it soon too. Meanwhile, this is where I'm going to build the train station. You can see the main line's over there. We just built this part. How am I going to connect these? I don't know. Because the train station actually is 5 foundations across, so it will take this side to side. Now, how long the train station is up to me, and that's going to depend on like how many freight cars I want it to pick up. Oh gosh, so I got enough plastic to do this again, and this is the main line, so it doesn't matter how thick or not thick this one is. Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4. So then we'll go to blueprints again. And we'll hologram it now. It is still reaching all the way down. That's good, I guess. So there you go. That would put them together, but that's not the spacing I'm using, so we're going to move it out. Going to nudge it. So there's 1, 2, 3. That is the spacing. those off. Now, it's going to get crazy because let me show you something. They don't have... Being in water is not much of a hazard. But watch, I got my gun, and now that I'm swimming, the water's not that deep. And in fact, even if you go underwater, which is hard to do, it's really hard to do, I don't run out of oxygen or anything. So being underwater or swimming, it's not a hazard unto itself. The problem is, I'm trying to choose my gun. I can't get my gun. Can't do anything with my hands. Can't build. Can't do anything. That is the problem. And so building out over water means we're going to have to build platforms to stand on while we build in water. And we're going to have to kind of extend them as we go along and pick them up when we're done. So, like here. And we'll extend that out like that. Now you can hear we're sloshing. But now I could have my gun, I can build, I can do whatever I need to do. Okay, so let's see. Actually, I didn't mean to go that far over. There we go. That's Zoop. I'm sure there's a story as to why Zoop is called Zoop. If anybody knows it, by all means, pop it into the chat. I would be very interested to find out. And we are on our way, but again, like, we're moving this way, but the map's not going to show you the building, it wouldn't show you the transportation track. I'm sure it's a performance issue. I mean, face it, right? If you're thinking about how big this world is and all the stuff I can put in it and the stuff's all working and doing stuff, the fact that this game runs at all, much less that it runs as well as it does, is absolutely mind-boggling to me. They got some guys who know performance, who know system performance, and it shows. Okay, let's make sure I still have enough. Yeah, now we're cutting into my my concrete reserves here. So pick this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Blueprint this puppy. Lock in the hologram. Line up the bits. Now move it out. 1, 2, 3. 3. Okay, now we connect these. And there we go. We are well on our way. See, that's about as underwater as you can get. There's no air bar, no bubbles, no nothing. It's just, it's like, hey, you're underwater. Yeah, I am. Okay. So we'll grab this oil at some point, but we're not doing it yet. Let's see, how are we doing? I think I just pretty much ate up all my concrete for a while. I'll have to go pick some more up manually, because we're using a massive amount of concrete and plastic for this. Okay. There was something else I wanted to do here, but I can't remember what it was. Oh, we are moving though. That's good. Yeah, I need to keep working on this building here. Okay, I will show you my interim concrete production facility. The thing is I looked at the map and I said, yeah, I'm in this area, and I go, there's a phenomenal amount of limestone generally around here, and I said, there's a lot right here, but I actually built this factory. I think it's up here or here, somewhere around here. I didn't know there's a cave entrance here. Oh, hold it, let's go check that out. I don't think I marked it, but I don't think I went in it, because at the time I didn't have the firepower or the tools. I didn't have the firepower to survive the cave, and I didn't have the tools to get into the cave, but I have both, so let's see if we can get in there. I mean, we're in the neighborhood anyway, or we will be in the neighborhood anyway. So let's go up here. Find that cave entrance. So now there's something else. There's usually a hog up here, and I think it was like 2 days ago I was up here and I saw the hog. I know it's a hog, or it should be a hog, but the model, the character model was not a hog at all. When I killed it though, it still left hog parts, so it's like, I don't know what happened there, but it just was very interesting. So this factory right here, this partial one, this is where I've got my concrete production happening. Right here. And it's got a dimensional depot, so it's feeding me concrete even as we speak. Okay, let's find that cave entrance. So I'm looking, there's a cave entrance here and a cave entrance here. I'm assuming that they connect. Might be a bad assumption, but we'll find out. So let's go over here. And let's say near. I don't know how near is near. Okay, I can see them both from here. So let's get to this first one. Ah. Maybe I have been all the way through this. I have definitely been in here. I see signs that I was here. Maybe it was a while ago, though. Hold on. So is it two separate caves? They're not connected? This definitely seems to be a dead end. Hold on. Yeah, this appears to be a dead end. They do go through. Okay, so that was kind of anticlimactic. Okay. So we got a bunch more concrete. We can take off here. So all you have to do is aim it for one of these feet. Jump and parachute, and there you go. Now, if you use the sprint key, when you do that, you will go higher and faster. Wow, I can see a lot more stuff over. Maybe I can build over there. So the way this game works is when you first start, I didn't know where anything was, obviously, but I couldn't see where anything was either. There's like a fog of war, obviously, on the map, but even when you look around you, you had no idea that there's other biomes or where they were or anything like that. The visibility range was very limited. Now, as you start to progress through the phases, it starts unlocking or clearing up your visibility, and then I could see those pink trees over on the right. You know, I didn't know they were there, but suddenly one day I could start to faintly see them, and as I went on, I could see them better and better. And I think the trick there is what they're trying to do, and I think it's a stroke of genius, is as you start to progress through the game, they then start to reveal more stuff around you to grab your interest, to draw you in to explore. And that was just genius. It's you know, I am surprised at the amount of thought that has apparently gone in this game. That being said, all my complaints about the map notwithstanding, right? I mean, oh gosh. I mean, in the end, I think they've made good design decisions or choices, but I would really would wish that they bring the map up to what I consider to be a minimal level of functionality, because we're not there yet. Okay. Turn the light off. Yep, your light goes on when you swim. Okay, just curious. Didn't know. So let's see, let's grab one of these and zoop it. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we'll go blueprint. This one. Make sure I got it right. Yeah. For some reason I thought it might be rotated. Okay. There we go. That lines it up. So now we move it out 3. Now these pylons may be overkill as far as, well, you don't need pylons at all. So if we're talking about what's needed, this is completely overkill. But you know, if you're looking at other people's designs or whatever, they're much lighter weight than this. That's cool. That's them. I'm essentially building a whole infrastructure for multiple transportation systems here. Multiple birds in one stone. Oh, this is not right. This is right. Okay. That is a... Well, what do we need to make another one? Now we'll cut into my reserve supply of plastic. We can definitely do that, though. 3, 4. Hologram that. Okay. And that one. Oops, I think that might be too big. That actually scared me. It is too big. These are 2-meter foundations, and I need 1-meter foundations. So through the use of blueprints, I was able to build all of this in just a part of this live stream. And if I didn't use blueprints, I wouldn't have been able to build only a fraction of this over the course of the entire live stream. So there you go. How you doing? Okay. Let's go run around on our new road bed. I do like elevators. It's a lot better than like making myself dizzy running up and down flights of stairs. But you're not getting your steps in, and you know, cardio is important. So even virtual cardio. So run over here. There we go. So I'm trying to figure, so out there and around that bend, I think, is, actually, I'm not even looking the right direction, really? Okay, that is the right direction. So I don't remember it jutting out like, huh. So that right there is where we're building our next factory, and then that's the next stop for the train. And so we're far enough out now. I'm going to have to figure out a way, using the blueprints, how do I set up my S-curve, right? Because I want to, if I just keep going south, I'm headed that way. And I do want to go south, but I don't want to go this way. I want to go in and this way, and then around. So I got to hug the coast a little more. And that would be the next step. So I'm pretty comfortable with using blueprints like we did today. But to use blueprints with the curves, I'm going to need to stockpile a bunch more concrete and plastic before I attempt that. But yeah. Anyway, I really digging the game. And the thing is these automation games, they really appeal to, like, say, people who are developers, you know, software developers, whatever, in real life. There's a lot of overlap. I have coded for a living once upon a time, but I don't really consider myself very good at it. Certainly don't enjoy it, which is why this type of game is normally something I would be mildly interested in. And Satisfactory, this game, like with Factorio, I played it, I don't know, maybe 30, 40, 50 hours. And I enjoyed it. But I'm not still playing it. And this game, I'm having a hard time to let go. So there's something different, something that appeals even to the non-developer techie egghead in me. So I don't know what it is. Wow, that sun's climbing fast. Yeah. Looking good, Mr. Cocker. So we need to put a lot of effort into enclosing this. Though this floor, it didn't have to be that tall. It just wound up being that tall, but I kind of like it, so I'm going to leave it this tall. But yeah, I need to continue working. I don't know if there's anybody out there. I'm looking at the, hold on. No, there's nobody out there. So, me talking right now, I'm speaking to all of you on video on demand. Right? So, nobody's live. Which is kind of sad. Because we've covered this. This is the third live stream for this world. And the last two were very, very well attended and participated. People were in the chat. Okay, this is a much better view. For some reason, maybe it's just because I'm higher up, or maybe it's because it's the time of day, but we can see more clearly. And that's where we're headed, basically. Now you can see with this, it's 5 across. That's the actual roadbed. I'm thinking at the moment that I will put hyper tubes down the middle, then rail on either side of that, and then a road network on either side of that. There is some experimentation definitely to happen. So the rail stuff I'm pretty comfortable with now in this game. But like the road stuff, I haven't done the road stuff at all. And in 1.2, roads become viable options. So, road vehicles at least. So I got to figure out ways to have roads cross railroad tracks and stuff. That makes sense. And then in whether there's decoration, like I think I'll put street lights on them, right? To light up the way and stuff. Of course, I'll have to run power. Haven't quite figured out how I would make that happen or make it look, but yeah, it'd be pretty interesting. Anyway, I guess there's nobody online, so I'd say otherwise, shoot a question. But even if you're watching video on demand, doesn't mean that there's no chance to participate. We have comments. By all means, if you got questions, put them in the comments. If you have ideas, put them in the comments. If you have concerns, put them in the comments. Anything you have, anything you care to say, except maybe insulting my mom or something. I would be happy to entertain, right? By all means. That being said, if you also have suggestions for other games or other formats or whatever that you think you might find interesting, I'm open to suggestion there too. Now that I'm back at work, I don't have the same free time I used to, and live streams might be a way to fit in additional series or games without absolutely sucking up every moment of my precious free time. Of course, maybe it's worth it. Anyway, with all that said, I had a good run today. I enjoyed myself. I hope anybody watching this, they also enjoyed it, got something out of it, and that you'll come again next time. Just a note, I will schedule live streams next week for Hightail and Satisfactory. The weekend after that, it will be spring break for my girls, so we'll be on the road as a family, and I won't be broadcasting that weekend, but then I'll be back on the regular schedule after that. So thank you for listening, and I'd like to wish you and yours overwhelming good fortune, good health, and good spirits. Take care. Cheers.